Most mobile games are pretty much dead after their third or fourth year, because usually the developers just stop trying completely. They just work with whatever players are left. Punishing Gray Raven just had its 6.5 anniversary livestream, and the reaction online has been a bit of a surprise. Instead of winding things down like any other game would, Kuro Games dropped a massive update called Homecoming Voyage that has the community completely blindsided. People are looking at a massive pile of free rewards, huge system overhauls, and out-of-game announcements like an appearance at Anime Expo. And of course, everyone's wondering how an old title is suddenly pulling this off. I mean, when I saw these announcements on the live stream, I myself was surprised. The one that paved the way for many gacha games that came after still has some fight in them. Actually, fighting is their specialty, and they are punching the competition with so much raw budgets that, to be honest, they are dominating right now. So much so that I decided to make a whole video on it. If you want to see more content from me, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon to keep up with my videos. Without wasting any more of your time, let's just get right into it. First of all, there's 𝗖cie, who everyone still basically just calls Alpha. I feel like she is a character who doesn't need an introduction. She is so iconic that when everyone talks about punishing Gray Raven, she is basically the first character that comes to mind. Well, let me tell you what, she is back with a new frame. But trust me, she is still that same aura farming waifu we all know and love. In fact, I think she has got a massive upgrade. She is an ice type attacker, but she also comes with an ignition effect, meaning she brings fire attributes into the mix at the same exact time. Fire and ice at the same time? How does that work, 𝗖់? And why is it impressive? In a game like PGR, where everyone is so used to building strict one-element teams, throwing two elements onto a single damage dealer is a massive deal. Personally, I think she will lead us into the new meta, but that is just from my own observation when I tried her out. It is not just about calculations though. Look at her weapon design and her attack animations. She starts out wielding two different sized katanas, but then she combines them into a massive, full-body 𝗖ecie that is literally taller than she is. And she is already tall, so what the hell? Fun fact, the developers actually brought in real motion capture data from traditional Zanbato techniques, which is basically a fancy style of giant sword martial arts. Because of that, her dual blade mode and her heavy 𝗖ecie mode have completely different attack logic, different force applications, and different hit detection ranges. It gives her attacks a lot of physical weight. Online, players are calling her a cool hybrid of her previous Crimson Abyss and Crimson Weave frames. From this alone though, you gotta admit that the devs care a lot about the quality of the characters being shipped to your accounts. Like, they are not just slopping out mathematically broken characters for money, they actually want you to love these characters when you fight with them. It is impressive to me because I would imagine it is really hard to one-up a character like Alpha Crimson Weave, the absolute icon of punishing Gray Raven. How could you possibly upgrade a character from that? Well, you can't just add a few more hair clips and expect the players to be happy with it. Thankfully, Kuro got the memo. And oh my god, did they absolutely rock expectations. They went with a Rakshasa theme, meaning a literal demon king. Her ultimate features these eerie ghost flames, and the design definitely conveys the violent suppression of a demon. If you listen to her new in-game voice lines, it makes total sense why people are loving the edge. She openly tells enemies to face their end, saying she has walked every path of evil and will go down to the depths of hell alone.
悪道をたどり尽くす。地獄の奥には一人で向かう。
Like, we got a new aura farmer here in the PGR headquarters. Do you think you can handle this waifu? Because personally, I would be the one doing the dishes. The real breakdown in the community right now though is about the story chapter. Homecoming Voyage. Kuro decided to go full multiverse here. In this parallel universe, things are actually going well. She and the commandants are deeply in love. Yeah, of Of course we are! That is what I play the game for! And their relationship has progressed all the way to a marriage proposal. Sounds good, right? But then the punishing virus hits and everything falls apart. Oh, well, that's pretty short-lived. The P in PGR stands for punishing, and that is what I deserve, apparently, I guess. But anyways, to save everyone, she chooses to sacrifice her own personal happiness. She makes a reversed vow, meaning she promises never to marry the commandant, and decides to absorb the world's collective negative emotions and tragic memories. She takes on a black crown and tries to lead everyone back home. And I mean, God, bro, it is incredibly tragic stuff. Of course, Kuro is also using this emotional high to create some serious urgency, and that comes down to her banner mechanics. She is categorized as a philo tree character, meaning she is strictly limited. If you do not pull for alpha during this specific patch, you are looking at a minimum 6-month waits before her banner even reruns. The only silver lining people are actually happy about is the way the banner infrastructure works. Because of how the system is set up, when a new philo tree character drops, all previous ones rerun alongside them. Since Liv Limpidity is the only other character in this tier so far, anyone who missed out on her last time can finally clean up their roster. Yippee! One of my main issues when I was a new player getting into PGR was the UI. Like, I'm not saying that it looks bad, but God, it was just such a mess. So I am thankful that the developers completely rebuilt the Babylonia main menu. Now it uses a diorama-style interface, meaning it looks like a miniature 3D scene you can interact with instead of just a flat, boring menu screen. You tap the login button and it transitions you right into the game world without a jarring loading screen. And then you have the actual player friction, which Kuro is apparently trying to kill off. They added a daily login makeup system. If you miss a couple of days during the week because you have a real life, I know, shocking, you can just do weekly missions to get cards that fix your missed attendance. Finally, a game that actually respects your time as a human being. They also increased the rewards you get from the Phantom Pain Cage, meaning the weekly boss gauntlet, and updated the team presets with tags to filter your characters way faster. Isn't that crazy? It is so rare for a gacha game to be increasing rewards from their endgame. The biggest win though, I think, in my opinion, is a new tool called the Philo Tree Codex. And this was specifically made for anyone trying to figure out what is going on in this world without reading a literal fan wiki. It makes the whole universe feel way less intimidating. Why? Well, this game has been running for almost 5 years now, and you guessed it, the lore is a giant sprawling maze. Now, when the timeline hits the 4.0 Philo Tree major version, the game adds a dedicated gateway for the worldview PV, meaning the big cinematic trailer. It basically allows players to preview or review the overarching lore right from the interface. It operates like a quick historical archive for years of dense narrative, and hopefully, more people will be interested in getting into the beautiful and tragic lore of PGR. If you think that is all the good news for this update, well, you thought wrong. We are only halfway there, baby. As we have established, Kuro is not like other girls, like other games. The onboarding burden for new players right now feels surprisingly light compared to basically every other gacha on the market. It just feels way more approachable in terms of catching up, handling your account progression, and navigating the overall system complexity without feeling like you need a degree to understand it. But basically, if you have ever been on the fence about jumping in, this is easily one of the best times to actually get into PGR. An old game that stops trying would never care about their players' well-being. They just care about the money. Well, guess what? When I watched the live stream, my jaw dropped because the ridiculous amounts of free stuff Kuro is giving out to the player base is just borderline crazy. They are rolling out a 14-day login event that is basically an absolute fast track for anyone trying to build an account from scratch. You just log in and they hand you a free S-rank selector that goes all the way up to 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁. On top of that, you get a 2,500 event tickets and another 2,500 basic tickets, which gives you a ton of extra pulling currency. But the thing players are actually losing their minds over is the banner reset. They are bringing back 100% rates of banner, meaning you are completely guaranteed to get the exact anniversary character you pick instead of losing a 70-30 coin flip to a random luck like in almost every other gacha game on the market. And then you look at the cosmetics, where the community is genuinely surprised by how much value is being given away. They are letting players sign in for 7 days to get a premium special effects coating of their choice entirely for free. Even the Commandant is getting a free formal wear costume just for playing through the new FOS college content. We also have Veronica getting a new vampiric special effects coating, which people are calling her best look yet. And of course, there is a gacha coating for Live Limpidity called Fluttering Ballet, which features a lot of ballet elements and comes with its own voice story and special background. There is a bit of a debate happening around the battle pass adjustments though. Kuro decided to stop making completely unique weapon models and replace them with generic final coatings, like a clean gold look for Alpha's blades. But most people are pointing out that they actually care more about cool alternate colorways than entirely new weapon shapes anyway. So the compromise kind of works. Kuro dropped a massive roadmap that has people convinced they are not slowing down anytime soon. The community is losing it over upcoming alternative looks and frames. They showed off special coatings for the new roguelike mode, which stars Kamui, Veronica, Nervacia, and Alpha. We have already seen Kamui's, but Alpha's new coating makes her look like a handsome prince. A rare female character with pants in this game got me drooling in some type of way, but gooning aside, wait, gooning not aside, we're just getting started. They also teased a bunch of future summer skins for Selena, Bianca, and a free summer skin for Teddy. And then they dropped a high-budget anime short revealing a whole batch of new faces, which instantly started a massive guessing game online about who releases first. All of this has sparked a bigger conversation about where this game actually sits on the global stage, because instead of winding down, Kuro is doing the exact opposite and scaling things up. They announced that they are taking the game to Anime Expo, locking down a collaboration for an official controller, and launching their first global online concerts. There is even a bizarre new scale figure of Lucia where she is just straight up sitting like a frog. It is giving the players a lot of confidence that the game has a lot more years left in the tank. The absolute peak of the livestream announcements was the sudden crossover reveal. Kuro is doing a collaboration with the anime Data Life, specifically bringing in Kurumi Tokisaki, and the community reaction to this one has been overwhelmingly positive. People are pointing out that Kurumi's dark, chaotic, gothic aesthetic perfectly matches the tone of PGR. It doesn't feel forced, and they essentially pick the one guest character that actually makes logical sense for this universe. Most live service games hit the multi-year mark and completely run out of steam. They cut budgets, shrink the development team, and just try to milk the remaining players for every cent they have left. But Kuro Games is just doing the exact opposite. They are approaching this milestone with hella budgets and creative energy you usually only see on a day one of a massive launch. Because look at what they actually rolled out for this patch. The new frame for Lucia, or just Alpha, is just so incredibly peak. They rebuilt the UI for Babylonia, and usually gacha games survive by making the game intentionally tedious or stingy to force you to open your wallets. But Kuro is proving that you can actually build a long-term sustainability just by making a genuinely good product, respecting its players' time, and handing out free S-rank selectors and premium skill effects coding like it's nothing. It is a rare approach in an industry that usually loves to create problems just to sell you the solution. But that is just what I think. Thank you, Punishing Grey Raven, for sponsoring today's video, and that'll be all from me, 𝗖់𝗍𝗆𝗆, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!